Welcome to Mastering Language and Learning, where we learn the keys to a successful learning and teaching. We are Reina and Raisa.
Hi, Reina. In today's episode, we are with three incredible guests: Carla, professor language, Andrea, an experienced ESL instructor, and Aura, a passionate language. Welcome, everyone.
Happy to join.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, guys, let's dive right in. Our first topic would be the characteristics of a good language learner. So, according to Robin and Thompson, there are 14 characteristics that make a good language learner. Could you guys break down some of these?
Absolutely. The version of Robin and Thompson mentions students who can find their own way without having to be guided by the teacher, who are creative, who make intelligent guesses, who make their own opportunities for practice, and who make errors work for them, not against them, and who use contextual clues.
That's crucial. Cognitive science supports this. Learners actively use the language and are comfortable with uncertainty and continue to speak without understanding every word and make errors, mistakes, and tend to acquire language faster. This is according to Robin and Thompson.
Well, from my perspective, this is not the only way to classify the characteristics of a good learner. According to Lieben and Spada, they classify the characteristics in several categories, such as motivation, intellectual abilities, and learning preferences. In fact, they take the willing to make mistakes as a personality characteristic instead of a special characteristic of a language learner.
I agree with Andrea. I prefer the point of view in a file bound and Spada. I have interesting questionnaire that we can check in order to know the most important things and less to predict success in second language learning.
Let's have a look.
Language learning hasn't really changed. The social and cognitive processes that are involved in language learning are pretty much the same as they've always been throughout human development. But language teaching has changed, and it's changed in ways that are much more compatible with what we understand about language learning. We learn when we engage in an activity that we're interested in, that we're able to do, and that we practice over and over again, either on our own or with the help of someone who can do it better than we can. After a while, the activity becomes easy or automatic, and that's what we call learning. In too many classrooms over many years, language teaching focused on studying the language itself. So students got practice in studying the language, but not so much practice in using the language. New approaches to language teaching ensure that students start to use the language as they learn it, and often they start using it meaningfully and interactively from the first day of class. The approaches to language teaching that I find more compatible with language learning are quite varied. We talk about communicative language teaching, task or project-based language teaching, content-based language teaching. We talk about CLIL and immersion. What all of these approaches have in common is that they engage learners from the very beginning in using language to do things with language, whether it's understanding or producing information about a topic that's important to them, perhaps daily life or their academic curriculum. Students engage in these activities as they learn the language, and they learn it better through these activities. This doesn't mean, however, that the language takes care of itself. We know from the research that there are features of language that are almost impossible to learn through simple exposure, especially in a classroom setting. Therefore, we need teachers to guide students, to provide feedback, and to draw their attention to things that they might never see if the teacher didn't help them notice. So these new approaches to language teaching are very exciting. I'm also very excited about the research that follows the learning that occurs in these classrooms. Over the coming years, we'll see lots of research that will help us find out whether these approaches have made the changes that we hope to see in language learning.
Awesome. That looks very interesting. Now we must know the characteristic of a good language teacher. What do you guys think it makes a great teacher? In my case, I think that the best language teachers are those who make learning an enjoyable experience. They also allow you to make mistakes and correct you in the process and guide you during this time.
Well, Reina, Brown states that good teachers are knowledgeable, skilled at teaching, and great with people. They understand grammar, phonetics, and writing system, but they also need to be adaptable, to be engaging and culturally aware.
And let's not forget the reliability and organization, because teachers has to know how to guide a good lesson and good class, providing feedback. And I have to emphasize on this part because some of the teachers think that they are creating a discussion and they are not. And this is the case of fish eye teaching.
That is right. Several teachers only create a conversation with the extrovert students instead of giving optimal feedback to students. In general, as Brown said, is a pedagogical skill they should have.
Yeah, and for sure, I also think that they have to know how to create a supported environment where students feel comfortable making mistakes and learning from them so they're able to express. A language teacher normally adapts really well to this because, as Brown mentioned, they know through experience what it is to learn a language. So they know how to make this process easier.
Absolutely, that's essential because you have to put yourself in choice.
Now let's shift gears to what is the reading process. Brenda Smith outlines a five-stage reading process. Andrea, could you walk us through it?
Sure, the reading process starts with the pre-reading where students can preview the test and set their purpose. After that, we have the reading stage where students can active engagement and questioning and validating predictions. As a next point, we have the responding stage where students can discuss and can reflect. Next, we have exploring stage when the students have to go deeper analyze, and then we have as finally point we have the applying stage. And on this point, they have to connect the test with their real life situations.
Especially in the academic field, we must have some reading skills.
I found that University of Notre Dame, Australia, suggests techniques like skimming, scanning, and detailed reading. Skimming helps find main points quickly. Scanning is for locating specific details, and detailed reading involves critical evaluation. And another key strategy is selectivity. Students should focus on required readings and relevant sections.
So the reading strategies for academic text. Guys, the other day I watched a video from ABC Education where Shauna Lewis outlines the similar key steps. She mentions scheming, predicting, and also scanning. But what I found interesting was that she mentioned other steps such as vocabulary attack, summarizing, and identifying main ideas. So according to her, these steps help students break down complex text and engage more with the academic material.
Vocabulary attack, what is about it? I have not heard it before.
Raisa, it is a strategy that helps students decode words by letters, syllables, or meaningful parts.
I get it. Now, let's discuss why use scholarly sources. So, tell me, what do you think? Why is this important?
Well, Raisa, scholarly sources provide credibly and reliable information. Unlike popular media, they go through rigorous review process and include citations that help verify claims. Using them strengthens academic work and ensures factual accuracy. Eastern Michigan University.
That's a crucial point. And now let's move on to academic writing. What role does academic writing play?
Well, Qualified says academic writing is essential for presenting ideas clearly and defending arguments. Ensures information is presented logically and objectively. It also fosters originality through structure analysis.
Yeah, and it makes you also think critically because you need to back up your arguments with solid evidence. So, like this, you can do it. And it also helps you show off your understanding of the topic and maybe could earn you credibility in your field.
So basically, academic writing is like the backbone of education, ensuring that ideas are sharp, clear, and effective.
So, girls, let's talk about the importance of dramatic competence in the EFL curriculum. Why is dramatic competence vital?
So, pragmatic competence helps students to use language appropriately in social settings. Amin and Lofi highlight that it enhances communication skills and supports social cultural awareness.
So, it is vital in the curriculum. So, that's why we can integrate it. Proposing activities recreating real life situations like debate, role playing, and of course, authentic materials must be included.
Yeah, and I was checking David Crystal's video, emphasized that mathematics explains the why behind language choices. For instance, saying, could you pass the salt? Or instead of give me the salt, reflects politeness and social norms.
Yeah, got it right, sir. Pragmatic competence goes beyond just know the words and how to put them together. It's about understanding how language is used in context to convey meaning.
Those are great examples to easily understand pragmatics. Now, how does pragmatics shape communications?
Well, pragmatic focuses on language choices and their social meanings. It explains how grammar, vocabulary, and expressions change based on context. For example, the way we address someone, like "Hello, Mr. Jones," versus "Hey, Jonesy," reveals different relationships.
Oh my God, that's true. I've never noticed how small things can impact the way we communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and I think it's a great way to see it. I find fascinating how even tiny details in oral language can have such a big impact on our interactions. So now, guys, we are finishing this episode for the day. So to wrap up, what is one key takeaway for our listeners?
Effective reading strategies make academic learner more manageable.
Understand, Laura, how we learn has improved our language skill.
Teaching pragmatic competence is just as important as grammar.
And being an active strategic learner makes all the difference.
Amazing insight, guys. I appreciate you so much for being here today. So, thanks to our guests for our great discussion and to our listeners. Keep learning, keep exploring our page, and to learn more tips. Yeah.
Yeah, see you next time on Mastering Language and Learning.